Hey guys, this is John with SB California Bushcraft. This is part 2 of my Bushcraft kit. This is the hammock setup. So you've obviously saw me talk about what I had in the Bushcraft pack. So now I'm going to go ahead and go over with you my actual hammock setup kit. Now there are a couple of things I do want to mention. Obviously you see that I'm carrying a knife on my side. Well, I haven't talked about it. Well, the reason why is because that's actually later on, so I'll talk more about this knife later on. But in the meantime, why don't we go ahead and get this hammock set up and talk about the contents of the dry bag that's here. And there's another reason why I have a dry bag, and I'll explain that in a minute. So let's go ahead and go over the contents. So we're going to go and pop the dry bag open. Gets a little dirt in it. That's okay, no big deal. So the first thing I have are the Atlas straps. I'm going to use these for the step of the hammock. So we're going to go and set the straps first. I love these straps, by the way. They work really very well. Set it up right about that level. This looks pretty good, actually. Use the other tree. I think I'll go and use the other tree. No, I don't. This is better. This is actually much better. No, it's not. Might be a little too short. Ah, my bad. Okay, so let's go ahead and use a different tree. There's actually another one right next to it. Set my out strap on the other side. Okay, that looks good. Keep in mind, if I have to, I can always move it back to the other tree in case it doesn't work out. I'm going to go and try to hook up the hammock. I'm not going to hook up the hammock just yet. Actually, I do want to go and try the hammock just to see if it works. Make sure that it's set up. This is my hammock. This is the Eno double nest hammock. This is a great hammock. perfect. So it's pretty good actually. So the hammock is all set up. Now next thing I want to go ahead and bring out is another little item. This is an old sheets cloth that I had this is an old laundry bag. What can I actually do with this? That's laying here on the ground. If I want to take my boots off, set them right down here, no problem. Now next thing I want to go ahead and set up with this kit got some carabiners and my rope. This is 550 paracord. This is 100 feet. There's another 100 feet worth of paracord inside the bag as well, and this is actually for the dry bag. So I'll explain that. Of course, so what I'll do is that if I'm in an area where it's very populated, I'll go about 100 feet away from the campsite, throw this up in the tree, hook it up with a carabiner, and hook that yellow bag you saw that I would use for a bear bag up, and that way I can use that to keep my food protected. Now, I'll look for the end of my rope. That's going to take me a couple of minutes here. You know, it's amazing. When you talk about bushcraft, especially if you're a beginner. I mean, I'm not really a beginner. I mean, I've done this a couple of times, but still, I mean, it's amazing about how many mistakes people make. But you know what? That's okay. After all, we're only human. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the end here out. The other one is pretty much open. I'm not going to cut the rope whatsoever. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a knot on the end. Let me bring it up close to the camera here. So I'm going to take a little bit up right about here. This end's going to go right through here. And then voila. Now the good thing about this style of a knot here is that it's very tight. It's not going to go anywhere. What I can do is I can put it right through. Make like a lasso, that's one thing. But what I primarily want to do with this is I want to use this for the carabiner. So the carabiner is going to go just like that. I'm going to hook this up to the tree where the hammock is. So as you can see, using the carabiner with the rope, with the 550 paracord, sets up my ridge line for the tarp I'm going to be using. You'll also notice that I've got a good amount of excess rope left, paracord left over. Now there's a couple things I can do with this. I don't want to cut it. I want to actually save it. So there's a few things I can do. One is I can hook this up to another tree, make like a clothesline with this extra paracord. Or the other option I can always do too is I could just wrap it up, use a piece of string or a rubber band if I have any, tie it up, that way I can keep it away, put it away for safekeeping. But I don't want to cut the paracord. I never want to cut my paracord unless I absolutely have to. But it does help. Alright, so now I've got the ridge line set up for the tarp. Tarp will do the next part. Tarp that we're using a 10 by 20 tarp. It's wrapped up with some paracord on the end, keep it protected. Go ahead and get this up on the ridge line. So as you can see, the tarp actually covers the hammock system relatively pretty good. So I'm actually pretty lucky with the tarp. Like I said, this is a 10 by 20 tarp. So now what I want to go ahead and do, you've obviously seen the extra carabiners. What I want to go ahead and do with these carabiners, I want to put one carabiner on one end. Hook it up to my ridge line. The other carabiner on the other end. And I'm going to hook it up to the ridge line. And what this will allow me to do is I can now, is that if I want to, what I can go ahead and do now is I can go ahead and tie down both ends with some stakes that I have. These guys right here. I can tie down one end, I can leave one end open. This way as well, I can go ahead and open up one end for ventilation purposes. Let me go ahead and stick this down, and that way you guys will be able to see what it looks like. Alright, so I finally got it set up. It took me a while. I had to make a few adjustments. Is it okay? The objective of using the carabiners was to create a center point for the tarp. This way now, what I'm going to do is take the carabiners off and stretch my tarp out a little bit more. That way I can make sure that I have enough coverage covering the hammock. Now you probably noticed the other two pieces of paracord. Well, did I cut the paracord from the 100 feet? The answer is no, I did not. I've actually had some extra paracord in my pack, in my haversack. So people who say that you go overboard on paracord, well, now you understand why. Now the other two items that would go into this hammock if I wanted to is I could use my air mattress with a pillow, which is not a bad idea. And I can also use this guy, the Swazi bag. Now you've seen a view on this thing earlier, and it's actually a really nice unit. So I'm not going to go and zip those guys up in there. But what I can do with that Swazi bag is I can cover that with the over my air mattress in case I need a little extra warmth. Or if it's a pretty day like it is today, it has been that cold. It's been about mid-50s or late 60s, late 50s at night around here. So what I can do is I can go ahead and use that as a blanket, or I can sleep in it as a sleeping bag. You've seen it before in my previous video. Check it out if you haven't had a look at that. So yeah, now I got the setup complete. Let's go ahead and get inside of it. Obviously I want to take my knife off. Now the dry bag in which I had all the contents of the stuff inside, this guy right here. If I wanted to, if I had some really wet conditions, I can actually take my boots off and throw them into the dry bag. That way it'll keep them nice and dry. But for the sakes of this demonstration, I'm going to keep it this way. Plus, doing another thing, you'll also notice that eventually I'm going underneath the tarp, so I can hook up my. So if I wanted to, I could hook up my little. I have two flashlights. I have a headlamp and a regular flashlight. I can hook that up underneath that using the carabiner. That way I have some light in there if I wanted to. It's up to me. I'm going to take my keys off. My cell phone. Whew, it's nice and cool here as it is. Actually, this is a lot of fun. So I'm going to go and take a little snooze in this thing for right now. Appreciate you guys joining me for another video. This is John with SP California Bushcraft signing off. Be safe, be well, strength and honor. Have a good day. There we go. We have to turn the camera off.